Parliament tumesahau? So many. Okay, just stand, I'll try and recognize. That's Mheshimiwa Makilab from Baringo North. Weka mkono juu ili wakujue. Thank you. Next to him is a women MP from Narok constituency. Oh, Rebecca Tonke. No, I was just saying, okay. I wanted to say your name. Aya. Next, Josh Lelmengit from Mgwen constituency. Rongai MP, Mamba. Good. Moiben. Soy. Naona sasa hii ni kazi ya ichungwa mimi nafanya. Wati ya from Moiben. Huyo ni KO South. At least that one I know is my MP-in-law. So ninajua kwa wazazi. Huyo ni Timo from Marakwet West. Huyo ni veteran chairman Meli from Tinderet. Tuanzie pale. Huyo anaitwa Victor Mandazi from Chepalungu. Next is Hilary Sigei, Senator Bomet. At least that one I know. Alafu huyo is amongst colleagues, long-serving public administrator. Anaitwa PC Sigei from Soti constituency. Why are you smiling? Huyo ni Marian Keitany from Aldai. Yala MP. Madam Zipora Kering, that's Mheshimiwa from Soinsi Gawet, Justice Kemei. Good. I think that's it. Ferdinand Wanyonyi, ako wapi? Good. Trans Nzoia is well represented. Karibu. Thank you from Kwanza constituency. Yes. That's Mheshimiwa Yegon from Bomet East. Good. Professor Barto from Moiben. Ule ni mama county wa Trans Nzoia. Sioi, I forget, Janet Citiene from Tarbo. Ule ni Kibet Komingoi from Bureti. Uyu from Kajiado North, Mheshimiwa Ngogoyo. Bas, alafu ule tunamuita Paps, lakini official names ni Parashina from Kajiado South. I'm used to calling him by short name Paps. Senators that are here that haven't been introduced: William Chemtudo from Baringo. I think the rest of the senators voted to Luataja. So that finishes my session, Your Excellency, of introducing all the leaders that are here with us. During the plenary session, viongozi mtapata nafasi ya kusema everything that you need to say. Thank you, Your Excellency. Asante. Thank you, Raymond.
Thank you, Majority Leader. You've done justice to time. It's my pleasure to invite the host governor, Her Excellency Governor Susan Kihiga.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, Your Excellency's colleague governors, cabinet secretaries present, majority leader of the Senate, senators present, members of the National Assembly, principal secretaries present, the DIG, the Rift Valley Regional Commissioner, everyone from the administrations, heads of state agencies present, government officials, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor to join you today as we come together as leaders of the region to discuss the causes, impact, and possible solutions to the menace of illicit brews, drugs, and substance abuse in the Rift Valley region. At the onset, allow me to welcome you to Nakuru County, the home of unlimited opportunities. It is an honor and privilege that Nakuru City was selected to host this event here at the ASK Showground. You are all very welcome. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, the conversation on the danger posed by the consumption of illicit brews, use of drugs and substance abuse in our country, and more so in the Rift Valley, is timely. Various studies in this topic, branded in Nakuru County as the business of death, have shown the use of illicit brews, drugs, and substance abuse among the youth, and now some older people, does not only pose a challenge to our social, economic, political, and health progress, but also threaten local and national peace and security. Therefore, it is an evolving challenge that all players at the national and county levels must fold their sleeves and tackle to avoid the lethal consequences of this menace. Indeed, illicit alcohol and substance abuse among youth affect not only the individual users and abusers, but also their families and society. These effects include neglect of responsibilities, increased trends in criminal activities, including organized criminal gangs, violent crimes, and international drug trafficking, interpersonal violence, diminished attachment to family and others, impaired self-regulation and problem-solving, decreased development of prosocial attitudes and behavior and health impairment, including mental disorders, reduced life expectancy among the users and abusers. In addition, studies show a death rate of 2.5 times higher than normal among users and abusers. These rates are highest among young adults aged 18 to 35. Youth in this age bracket constitute about 60% of Kenya's national population, hence being the most vulnerable group. Allow me to demonstrate how deep this malaise has become ingrained in our society here in Nakuru County. Sometime in September last year, a 30-year-old resident of Elbagon in Molo Sub-County, serving as an assistant county commissioner in Vihiga, took a short leave to visit his family in Nakuru. With some free time, he went on a night-long drinking spree with his friends in Molo, and sadly, he died the following day from alcohol poisoning, ending a promising administrator's life and leaving behind a young widow and children orphaned at a very young age. On August 8th of 2021, 10 people in the Hodi area of Bahati Sub-County died after consuming what tests confirmed to be poisoned illicit liquor. Another 6 people died 4 months later in December 2021 after consuming illicit brew in Jawadho village, Njoro Sub-County. Similar deaths arising from illicit brew consumption have been recorded in Molo, Kuresoi South, and Kuresoi North sub-counties. Where deaths have not been reported, you will find once able-bodied youths have been turned into zombies after using drugs and abusing substances that are now easily available in urban centers and villages. Your Excellency, investigations and studies reveal that the purveyors of this menace have devised ways to continue their deadly business under the noses of administrators and security agents. The merchants of this business in Molo, Joro, Bahati, Kuresoi North, Kuresoi South, Gilgil, and parts of Nakuru City have become so enterprising that they conduct their businesses in toilets and even in cemeteries to escape the prying eyes of security officers and administrators. Informal settlements in urban centers in the county have become dens where these merchants conduct their businesses, exacerbating the sorry state that already exists in those areas. In Nakuru City, areas of Kaptembwa, Kivumbini, Kuaronda, Canyon, London, Morogi, and other densely populated slums have become stomping grounds for peddlers of drugs and merchants of illicit brews. Efforts to stamp out this menace must begin in these areas. To stem the spread of the malaise, which is morphing into a security threat at the national and county levels, all players, political leaders, security agencies, the clergy, and the relevant state agencies must work together. It is evident that weak laws, regulations, and low fines have largely contributed to the state we are in regarding illicit brew consumption. As a region, we must develop strong legislation that provides punitive consequences for peddlers of drugs and merchants of illicit brews. Here in Nakuru County, we are preparing a law to this effect. We will seek the support of the national administration, of the national government, and security teams in the county in the fight against this illicit brews and use of drugs. In the meantime, we have tightened the issuance of licenses to bars and wines and spirits outlets. This year, out of 3,654 applications, licenses were issued to 2,919. 445 were rejected. We want to guard and ring fence our youths from illicit brews and the use of drugs. In conclusion, I want to thank the national government for identifying the dangers of this menace and bringing us together to discuss and find ways of containing the spread of illicit brews and the use of drugs. This is a fight that we cannot wish away because the consequences are worse. In fighting against this business of death, we seek to reduce poverty, unite families, mold a healthy workforce, clean our politics, entrench harmony and peace in our society, and promote security. I'm convinced that we will have a clear route to tackle this challenge by the time we leave here today. So thank you very much, Your Excellency, for leading this fight. It is no easy task, but I'm sure you and all of us together are up to the task. It is now my pleasure to introduce Your Excellencies, my colleague governors, and we have Dr. Mutahi, who is the governor of Kericho, and you will have time to speak during the plenary. We have Jonathan B. or Koti Moja from Uasin Gishu. We have Hilary Barchok from Bomet. Thank you. We have Benjamin Cheboy, my neighbor from Baringo, who stole my flamingos, but they're back. We have Patrick Ntutu from Narok. We have Governor Irongo from Laikipia. We have Deputy Governor Yulita Mitei from Nandi County. Have I left out any present governor? Let me also take the time to introduce my deputy governor, or the deputy governor of Nakuru County, DG Kones Asanti. I also noticed on the screen there that I saw the majority leader of the Nakuru County Assembly, and any MCAs, if you also can stand up, I think that would be nice. Thank you very much. Asanteni, thank you very much. Oh, they are from other areas also? Oh, okay, all the MCAs, stand up. Sorry, I didn't realize that. No, we did, leader. Okay, thank you very, very much. And for you, the members of the, is it the press? Mumeniona? Niko sawa? Hiyo mreport pia.
Thank you, Governor. Now, I want us to move straight into a presentation by Madam Eunice Rubia. Eunice. Now, as Eunice comes on stage, I want to once again acknowledge the heads of various agencies present here. Maybe you could just stand up so that you wave to the delegation here, the delegates. So I can recognize two. Of course, the head of NACADA, acting CEO, Mr. Muteti. Then there is the acting Commissioner General KRA, Madam Rispa. Yeah. Anti-Counterfeit Agency, thank you. And Kenya Bureau of Standards. So, Madam Eunice, the floor is yours. Yeah.
His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the Cabinet Secretaries present, led by our Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Interior, the Principal Secretary, elected leaders, that is senators, members of parliament, women reps, our governors, Regional Commissioner, Rift Valley, all the county commissioners in attendance, not forgetting all the leadership of the various agencies, including the chairperson for NACADA, all the various director generals and the CEOs, including the acting CEO of NACADA. Eunice Arubia, I work with NACADA as the regional head for North Rift. I'll be making a presentation on behalf of the region. We're looking at the alcohol and drug abuse situation in the region. And to begin with, we came up with objectives that we wish to achieve from this particular sitting. The first one is to highlight alcohol and drug status in Rift Valley region. We shall also be keen to assess the strategies employed to counter alcohol abuse in this region. Thirdly, to develop a sustainable strategy for the effective crackdown of illicit brews and counterfeit alcohol. And we also want to mainstream alcohol control at community level and to facilitate rehabilitation of persons affected by alcohol and drug abuse. As an introduction, our country is confronted with a serious and growing problem of alcohol and drug abuse, which is cutting across all sectors of the society, affecting the health, education, manufacturing, environment, and the security sector. Some of the effects of alcohol and drug abuse include diseases which are related to alcoholism, family breakages, crime, mental issues, illnesses, suicide, low productivity at the workplaces, as well as poor academic performance and indiscipline in schools. Rift Valley region is gravely affected, with the youth particularly wasting in cheap liquor and its related effects. Therefore, we commend His Excellency, the Deputy President, Honorable Gachagua, EGH, for taking the lead in the war against illicit brew and drug abuse in the country. The bringing together of the region's leadership is a demonstration of the government's goodwill and efforts of curbing the menace. Looking at the prevalence, particularly pointing out from the survey conducted by NACADA, this particular study the findings were officially unveiled by NACADA. So I'll be pointing out just the key areas, but the full report is available on our website. So looking at the prevalence in terms of those that have engaged in using at least one drug or substance of abuse, you'll find the national percentage stands at 17.5, but for Rift Valley, our region, it is 14.1. With the use of alcohol, the national statistic stands at 9.7, but for our region is 9.6, a difference of just 0.1. Then with tobacco, the national level is 8.5. For us as a region, we are equally the same level with the national, standing at 8.5%. With CAT, what we refer to as MIRA, national statistics stands at 2.6%. The regional statistics stands at 2.1%. Cannabis, which is also banned, national level is 1.9%. And at the regional level, we are at 1.2%. Potable spirits, which is also a big menace to us as a region, as you can see from the regions there, Central comes number one on that with 4.1, Coast follows at 3.2%, and our region, Rift Valley, comes closely there as the third at 3.1. But compared to what we have as the statistics of the national prevalence levels, the national, we stand at 2.5. You can see actually the first 5 regions are even ahead of what we can accumulate together as the figure for the national level. Then at the national level, in terms of consumption, the male are the most affected at 4.8%. Females follow at 0.6%. When you compare portable spirits used at both urban and you compare to rural, you find the urban population is the highest affected, actually using at 3.6%, and the rural at 1.9%. Alcohol consumption in terms of age, we'll categorize between age 15 to 24. That is for our region. It stands at 4.0%. The most affected of that age bracket is between 25 and 35%, standing at 11.8%. As a region generally, alcohol consumption is 9.6. I'd looked at those figures earlier when we were just short of 0.1% from the national percentage. A summary of current use of drugs for Rift Valley in terms of population. For alcohol, we are 673,828 people who are affected by the use of alcohol, followed by tobacco, which is at 598,988. Thirdly is cat, what we call mira, is at 146,997. Cannabis follows, which is also referred to as bang or marijuana. It's at 84,832 people affected by the use of cannabis. For prescription drugs, it is 13,325. Multiple substance use, that is people that use more than one substance, it stands at 385,892. Those that have used at least one substance, the total population is standing at 991,814. In terms of severe use and developing substance use disorder, those are the people that require intervention in terms of treatment and rehabilitation. For alcohol use as a region, we have a population that is in dire need of services of rehabilitation at 319,946. For tobacco use, we have a population of 269,726. For cat, mira, we have a population of 43,207. For cannabis, it is 43,386. And lastly, prescription drugs, which is a serious menace currently with the young ones, is at 9,670. Situational analysis. When we looked at this largely, this is what came out from the survey. The region is largely affected by the use and proliferation of changa and portable spirits that are extremely potent. Secondly, there is a worrying burden of alcohol and tobacco addiction in the region that transcends across all ages. Also, the findings show evidence of early initiation to drug and substance use in the region. As well as the data from the region shows that the age between 25 and 35% years is the most affected by drug and substance use, as well as the burden of addiction. As we saw earlier, that age bracket was at 11.8%. The region is also emerging as a key market for heroin and cocaine use, especially in the 2 counties, that is Nakuru, specifically Nakuru town, and Uasin Gishu, that is Eldoret town. Abuse of prescription drugs for non-medical use is another emerging challenge in the region, especially for those psychiatric medications like diazepam, Aten, Rohypnol, and codeine syrup. We also have put down, in terms of the details, the number of outlets that were licensed per county. Nakuru, by the time we're putting this report together, we were at 1,812, followed by Laikipia, that have licensed a total number of 1,159 outlets. Narok has licensed 960 outlets. Uasin Gishu has licensed 767. Bomet has licensed 659 outlets. Trans Nzoia County has licensed 534 outlets. Kericho has licensed 368 outlets. Elgeyo Marakwet has licensed 315 outlets. Nandi County has licensed a total of 310 outlets. Samburu has licensed 237 outlets. Baringo County, 178 outlets. Turkana, 159 outlets. Kajiado, 142. And the last one is West Pokot, that has licensed so far 92 outlets. In the entire region, out of the 14 counties, we have a total of 7,694 outlets. And to us, just to mention that we have one sub-county in the region that has no single outlet. That is Pokot South in West Pokot County, specifically a place called Lelan. Your Excellency, sir, also we managed to map out. We also managed to map out the hotspots for both illicit brew and drugs. So just to mention, we have a detailed report of all the hotspots. So we have places like in Nakuru, we have railways, we have Kasarani, Showground, among many others. And we also have Laikipia with places like Majengo Slums, Ukumbusho Market, Liki River, among others. And then Bomet, we have Lebekwet and Mogoma villages, among many other places that we've mapped out. For Kajiado, we have also quite a number of places. Ongata Rongai, Ngong, Matasia Town, Mbulbul, among many, many other places. Nandi County, we have Olomotit and Kaptuta villages along Mbogo riverbanks, among other places that we've mapped out. Turkana County, we have Lokomarinyang, Kaikor, Napak, Kibish, among other places, including places like California. Uasin Gishu, we have a long list of places we've mapped out. I'll just mention a few. That is, we have, there are quite a number of them for Uasin Gishu. So we have Kambiamani, Toyobei village. We have quite a number of them as you see them there. As you can see, for sure, we've mapped out so many places. Then we have Narok, Ololunga Junction, Kambi Chafu, among other places. In Kericho, we have Brook, Kericho Town, Ainawi Moi, Lemotit, among other places. In Baringo, we have Mochongoi, Kimoriot, Arabal, Marigat, among other places, including Tenges Center and Kapiemit. Samburu County, we have Maralal, Milimani, Suguta Town, Wamba, Baragoi, among other places. In Elgeyo Marakwet as well, we equally have so many places that we've mapped out. Chesongoch, Viewpoint, along Kerio River, bordering Baringo County, the Hanging Valley, among other so many places. For Trans Nzoia, we have Trans Nzoia, we have Pwatak Farm, Pango Farm, Bondeni, Namboko, Chemi, among other places. West Pokot, we have Aramaket, Kisima, Madare, Mawingo Road, among other places. In terms of accredited treatment and rehabilitation centers in the region, we have facilities that are operating, actually, that can serve our people, as we saw the numbers that are in dire need of treatment and rehabilitation. For South Rift, we have a total of 14 rehabilitation centers, Beyond All Love, Family Wellness, Presbyterian Care Center, Teens Challenge Kenya Nakuru Center, Mary Wairiri Foundation, Karira Medical and Rehabilitation Center, Jabali Wellness, we have Idlik Wellness Center, New Dawn, Zenesis, Wheeling Way, The Retreat Limited, Emmanuel Treatment Resource Center, Palm Tree Home Wellness Center. For North Rift, we have Moi Teaching and Referral, Elgeyo Marakwet County 10 Rehab, Lighthouse Hospital and Rehabilitation Center, Nuru Wellness, Haven Recovery Center, Serenity Africa, Adapt, Alumasi Rehabilitation Center, Talbot Center under the Catholic Diocese of Lodwar, Ichuman Wellness Center, Kabri Sang Rehabilitation Center in Nandi, which was done through partnership with NGAF, National Government Affirmative Action Funds. The same as the last one, Lodwar Rehabilitation Center, also done in partnership with the National Government Affirmative Action Funds. NACADA has funded a few, like Moi Teaching Referral, Elgeyo Marakwet County 10 Rehab, and one in Bomet. That is in the region, but NACADA has done many others in the country. The achievements, we managed to put out achievements we've realized in the region. The first one, through partnership with both state and non-state actors, we've been able to have a program that is alternative livelihood program targeting specifically the brewers. We had notorious brewers in the region, and through a partnership, we've been able to convince them, get them trained and engaged in other alternative ways of earning a living. And we have so far reached an estimate number of 3,000 in the region. We've also, we also want to commend the county government so far that all counties have enacted their laws in this region, and they all have functional directorates responsible for the alcohol and drug control function. Then as NACADA, through partnership with county governments, as I indicated earlier, and in collaboration with GAV, we have 5 key rehabilitation facilities in the region that we've been managed to put together, and they are serving this region. Then there is a significant decrease in the number of licensed outlets this particular year, estimated at about 20%. The numbers came down compared to the number of outlets that were licensed the previous year. So we really want to still commend everybody that really is taking part in this. Your Excellency, we hope that going forward, we shall work to ensure that this number comes down further. Then in terms of other achievements, just to point out when we do the work of enforcement, there are a number of achievements we've also realized as we work as a multi-agency in the region, that is so far within this a span of a period that we worked together, we managed to arrest and charge in court a total of 1,255 suspects. That is for a period of 100 days. Then we also managed to close 781 outlets in the region. And with all this, it attracted a fine amounting to 17,243,000. We also netted illicit brew that was amounting to 942,060 liters. With bang, we recovered 2,419 rolls. We also managed to collect 1,700 brooms, plants, and stems of bang. And we also managed to collect 100 stones and 24 kgs bulk, the one that is found in a sack. So weighing, it was about 24 kilograms. For cocaine in a region, that is most recent, and the case is still pending in court, we managed to get 54 sachets of cocaine. And one thing we want to commend our prosecution and together with the judiciary is that the culprit was denied bond. We've also managed during that period to net ethanol on transit amounting to 76,756 liters. Second generation, we got during that period 14 cartons, 2,485 pieces of assorted vodka brands. Cigarettes, we managed to collect 1,696 packets. For molasses, we got 10,750 liters. Yeast, we got 152.57 kilograms. And illegally manufactured beer in Kericho, when this illegal manufacturing was happening, we managed to get 678 bottles during that particular operation. And the value of counterfeit generally during that period that we valued in collaboration as we worked as a multi-agency, KRA were able to value all that was seized at 167 million. That is a great loss when it comes to if we don't really fight counterfeiting out there. Then in terms of challenges, as we do this work, we've also pointed out a number of challenges that we experience. One is weakness in licensing and enforcement, and specifically we've pointed out the following. One is mushrooming of alcoholic outlets in undesignated areas, including wines and spirit shops. Secondly, the bars that operate without valid documentation, without licenses. Then abuse of licenses, sale of substandard alcohol in unhealthy conditions, outlets operating beyond stipulated hours, wines and spirits dispensing on site contrary to the law. Under corruption as a challenge, we also pointed out there is a lot of collection of protection fees, bribes to avoid closure and arrest, information leakage during crackdowns, and conflict of interest. Abuse of prescription drugs. We have a challenge particularly for unregulated sale of pharmaceutical drugs. And particularly, as I cited earlier, we have a big challenge with codeine syrup. And I believe that a lot can be done, especially with our colleagues at the Pharmacy and Poisons Board as well. Because currently what our young people are doing, they get codeine syrup, they buy Lucozade, ready to drink juice, they mix it up and they're able to come up with an intoxicating substance. So it's a serious challenge. Prosecution challenges, cases taking too long to conclude, lenient charges, sentences, and fines. Chiefs and security officers facing prosecution charges in court by brewers and peddlers. We have uncontrolled trade in ethanol and powder beer as a challenge. That particularly is brought about by diversion of ethanol to manufacture substandard and counterfeit alcohol, portable spirits in the market, illegal manufacturers, availability of powder beer to concoct illicit brew. Then with bank smoking is a big challenge. The region is one of the key markets for the cannabis coming from neighboring countries. For loss of revenue, counterfeit products and fake stamps during that particular time, we got what we estimated in terms of loss amounting to 81,900,000. Then the other challenge we pointed out as a multi-agency is that there is a challenge at the family level brought about by poor parenting, and one that was caused by the containment measures during COVID-19. People began drinking from home, and which is really interfering with the family unit. Also, we pointed out the emerging trends. The first one is the legal packaging of alcohol in personal houses. It's a big challenge in the region. And then hawking of illicit brew. People move around with backpacks, just hawking like any other business. And then sale of confectionaries laced with drugs, particularly the use of bang and heroin to make weed cakes and weed cookies. And lastly, as an emerging trend, we have currently unregulated online sale of alcoholic drinks, including home and office deliveries. So the other one that we pointed out as a challenge is the management of empty bottles, which is a big challenge, which is a contributing factor to the counterfeiting of genuine brands through recycling of empty bottles. There is need for a policy to assist in management of empty bottles. Recommendations that we've made as a region are: one, alcohol and drug control being a shared function between both the national and county government. There is need for the establishment of county-based intergovernmental committees on alcohol and drug abuse. Secondly, we recommend the amendment of the Alcoholic Drinks Control Act of 2010 regulations to include and provide a formula for determining maximum number of alcohol outlets to be licensed in a given area based on population density as envisioned in the Act. Thirdly, we recommend that there is need to amend the county-specific laws to align with the national law, Alcohol Drinks Control Act 2010, so that they are in tandem, because currently they are not reading the same. Fourth, we've recommended counties to invest in research, prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation programs from liquor licensing fees. We emphasize for ring-fencing of the funds collected from licensing. We have a few counties that have managed to establish a fund account, and our plea here today is to really plead, Your Excellency, that if the counties can all establish a fund that will be able to manage all issues to do with alcohol and drug control. There is also, finally, fifth, we've recommended there is need for decentralization of government chemist services, because currently we have a serious challenge. When we have samples in the region, we have to travel either to Kisumu or to Nairobi, and it is a big challenge. Sometimes when the cases are in court and the reports delay to be released, it really affects the verdict of our cases in court. We also recommend that there is need to ensure coordinated and multi-agency licensing regime of alcoholic outlets, where Ngao and National Police Service are also involved at all levels. We also recommend a need to undertake regular surveillance and enforcement to ensure compliance. We also recommend there is need to enhance community participation in control of alcohol and drugs, including licensing. We also recommend a need for a structured training for addiction professionals. As we talked about the huge number of people that are affected, there is need for personnel to be given capacity to handle the persons that are affected with addiction. There is need to standardize hours of operation for alcoholic outlets so that they are all the same in terms of opening hours and closing hours. We want to thank you very much. Maybe just to point out, as I was talking about the government chemist, there's a challenge currently in the region whereby we have a challenge when we do raids. They are expected to supply the whole consignment for analysis. Sometimes it is quite hectic if you have like 100 grams of liquor that you've seized and you're expected to take it all for analysis. Previously, we just used to take samples so that through that you get the report to help with the processing of the cases in court. But currently, are really experiencing. Either Kisumu or Nairobi is a big challenge. Then shortly, Your Excellency, we also have a short documentary when we're talking about the program for the reformed brewers. It's a short documentary for about 5 minutes only that we wish to play so that we really get to understand what we notorious brewers to quit brewing in order to do something else in alternative. So thank you very much. We're going to watch it briefly.
Kaunti ya Kisii.
Zaidi ya wauzaji na waraibu wa pombe haramu 1000 katika kaunti za Elgeyo Marakwet, Nandi, Pokot Magharibi na Uasin Gishu wameamua kuacha uraibu huo na kugeukia kilimo na biashara ndogo ndogo. Watengenezaji pombe ambao kwa wakati mmoja walikuwa sugu wamebadili mienendo baada ya zaidi ya miaka 20 ya kucheza mchezo wa paka na panya na maafisa wa polisi na mamlaka ya Nakada. Wengi wao ambao walitegemea vileo kulea familia zao sasa wana simulizi tofauti kabisa, kama anavyotuarifu Ben Kirui.
Lilian